Hello everybody. The word of the week is assertiveness. The word assertiveness was a concept that I only got to learn when I came to the United States. And it's one of my favorite words in the world because it means being strong and also being kind. It means speaking out what you're thinking, standing up for your rights without necessarily being aggressive, and very importantly, without being passive either. We women have, for generations and generations, have needed to face the fear, the terror of the B word. If a man is strong and determined and tough, he's praised by society. If we are looked down. It is what kind of witch she is, what a biatch she is. That is a double standard that we all have gone through. The perfect little lady, the good woman, the nice, the kind woman is always the woman who sacrifices herself, and it doesn't have to be like that. One of the biggest questions that my clients bring to me is, I don't want to be a biatch. I want to speak up, I want to say what I want, but I don't want to become something that I'm not. I don't want to be abrasive, aggressive, non-feminine. There is this association that femininity comes with softness, which is great and is true, and it doesn't have to contradict the concept of assertiveness. So today, I'm going to be sharing the 3 steps to really embrace assertiveness in your life, to the point that you regain freedom. First, I always have to start with a story. The biggest moment of my life when I had to wake up and embrace assertiveness came near my 35th birthday, a couple of years ago. And it was my birthday, and my therapist gave me an assignment. I needed to change my car. I was driving this Camry that was a gazillion years old. It was all I could afford when I was a resident, but I had now graduated. I was a doctor earning a big chunk of change, and I was still using the same car, and I hadn't changed it. So she gave me an assignment. She told me, you are going to buy for yourself, for your birthday, the car of your dreams. It was a completely foreign concept to me. I have to buy a car that is good for the environment. I have to buy a car that makes sense, that is financially responsible. And my assignment was, you have to buy the car that makes your heart skip a beat, which was a foreign concept at the time for me. And the idea that came to mind was a red convertible. And truly, I almost didn't care if it was a convertible. I wanted it to be red. All my life, I had wanted to have a red car. But you know, the people say, no, the red cars get too much attention from the traffic police, and the red cars are too flashy and to show up. And it was against my will. I had always had these neutral color cars. And for the first time in my life, I said, I'm going to have a red car. And I mentioned that to my then husband, my ex, and I said, I'm going to start test driving Mercedes convertibles. I want my car to be red, metallic red, like a Christmas ball. And I was starting to get excited about it when he surprised me with the gentle, magnanimous present that he went and bought the car himself without consulting me and delivered it to my door. Actually, his assistant he did, with a bow on it, and it was a white car. Oh my gosh. And of course I was, thank you, beautiful. But the whole idea of me doing this exercise was ruined. It was not the car I wanted. It was not the color I wanted. So I was faced with this dilemma. Do I become a biatch and reject a present that someone else would have been crazy for? Or do I go ahead and take a car that makes me sad just looking at it? So I'll go back to the story at the end, but the first thing I learned in this process, and is the first one I'm going to share with you today, is that by being assertive, we do an amazing service of love, compassion, and help to the people we love. Why do I say that? Every time in my life when I fail to be assertive and I put up with something I did not want to put up with, or I accepted something I should have said no in the first place to, what do you think it happened? I accumulated a resentment. And one thing piled on top of the other, and later on, sooner or later, I would explode. I would throw everything away. All my efforts to be a lady would go to hell, and I would raise my voice or be harsh or be mean, and if all my efforts were wasted. That story I just told you made me realize that by stepping up and saying, oh, I'm sorry, you did not listen to the whole point of me doing this was to get a red card, was going to save years, decades of resentments and pointing fingers and blaming someone else. If we make the decisions ourselves, we don't mind if we make mistakes. We don't go back and try to blame someone else. So the best way to live in life is that make the decision before someone else makes the decision for you. And the first step is realizing that doing it, you are doing your loved one a favor. You are guaranteeing, you are ensuring that the love and the treatment they are going to receive from you comes straight from your heart, and is going to be a relationship that's going to be strong for years to come. So step number 2 is you need to be crystal clear about your values. What is the difference between saying yes to something you didn't want to do because you are afraid of rejection versus saying yes to something you didn't want to do but you are doing it on behalf of love? There's a drastic difference. All the time when we have to make a decision, take a step, and we are dealing with conflicting values, we'll be in that situation. Am I being a pushover because my husband said he wanted to go on a vacation and I wanted to stay home? Or am I embracing the value of love for my husband? Or I am putting my value for exploring new scenarios above my resistance? That is something that is going to make your life drastically better. Just by you sitting down and saying, what are the values that rule my life and in what order? When at that moment, when I had to face the car that I hated and I had to tell my then husband, I'm sorry, I did not want the car to be white. Of course, the guilty voices were inside me. Oh my God, you are an ungrateful woman. My value of gratitude was at play. Oh my gosh, you should never have done that. But a very important value I was trying to embrace at the time was the value of self-love and the value of assertiveness. So at that time, I put that value ahead of the others. The step number 3 that I wanted to share with you today is that maybe you are hesitant to be an assertive woman and speak out your voice because you don't want to be the biatch, because you don't want to be rude, because you don't want to be unkind. It's perfectly fine. Put it in your assertiveness declaration. I will be an assertive woman who is also kind. I will be an assertive woman who is also sweet in her words. I will be an assertive woman who is also feminine. They are not mutually exclusive qualities. And by you having identified your values initially and know which are the ones that are important for you not to violate, and by you making a commitment to stick to those values, that is going to be the thermometer that is going to guide you at every step. The next time you have to confront someone, you say, you have already made it clear, I will be a woman who is assertive but also kind. So you will find the kind words to tell someone. what you really want, what you really don't want, to exercise the power of your no. And this is magic, because I'm telling you, when we do this as a habit, when we practice assertiveness regularly, and when we say no regularly, we have a drastic increase in the quality of the time and love we can give to other areas of our life. This is it for today. It's a short video today. I hope this video has been helpful. If that's the case, please share it, and I can't wait to hear your comments. Love you and talk to you soon. Bye.